I will be joined by Jiang and Tianyue, both co-founders of QIMU Design, which is based in New York and Hangzhou, China. Although Tian is actually joining us today from Munich. And they will present their award-winning project, We, Wellness Support for Non-Native Speaking Women. Following our presentation today, which will be approximately 30 minutes or so of our hour together, there will be a Q&A. So do bring in your questions through the comments section of LinkedIn, and I will do my best to pass them on to our speakers. You can do so, as I mentioned, via the chat comment on LinkedIn or Zoom. Before handing over to Shooting and Tian, I want to briefly mention our open call for the UX Design Awards, which is running until the 15th of May. So approximately 2 more weeks to go. So if you're working on great experiences, this is a super opportunity to gain recognition for your work and team. Now, I will hand over to you both. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Joanna. Let me share the presentation first. Just give me 1 second.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay, we're gonna start.
Okay. So I'm gonna start. Hello, everyone, and thank you so much for joining us today. As a UX Design Award concept winner this year, we are very excited to share the story and our UX thinking behind our most recent project, We, a wellness support for non-native speaking women. And first of all, I would like to give a short description, a short introduction to the team behind this project. So my name is Tianyue. I'm a co-founder of QIMU Design and also a senior product designer currently working in fintech. And apart from finance, I'm also a dog person. Well, I would say a golden retriever person especially. And for this project, I'm working with my co-founder, Shooting.
Okay, my name is Shooting. Just like Tian, I graduated from NYU too. We got the same major. I have been working as a senior designer in the ad tech industry for a long time. And we both have strong backgrounds in UX and product design. Outside of work, I'm a cat person and Tian's the dog person. It's a very small thing, but it's actually showed how different we are in a fun way. We fight a lot, but in a good way.
Yeah, I agree that.
So we founded QIMU Design at the beginning of last year to focus on user experience design and digital product solutions. Now we have 2 locations, New York and Hangzhou, and we believe the multicultural foundations give us a unique point of view of seeing things. So what exactly is We? Let's talk about it. We is a digital healthcare platform designed to support immigrant women, especially non-native speaking women, as they navigate complex health systems. This idea was actually born out of our own experiences because we moved to US for study. I stayed here for like 15 years already. No, not 15 years, like 12 years. But it's long enough. And was eventually expanded to a much wider and powerful observations. Many women around us, we have a lot of international friends, they were avoiding medical help due to language barriers, cultural gaps, and fear of misunderstanding. That's a big problem, we know, and based on the research, as of 2021, around 23.2 million immigrant women are living in the United States, who actually make up over half of the entire foreign-born population. In fact, immigrant women are now represent about 14% of entire female population here, and this number is still growing. These number came with real challenges, we think. According to research published in BMC Health Service Research, immigrant parents, especially women, often report lower satisfaction with their healthcare experiences, which are largely due to communication difficulties, cultural misunderstandings, and feeling unheard in clinical environments. Think about that. When someone is new to a country, doesn't even speak the new language very well, at least they don't know all those healthcare jargons. and it's already dealing with all those stress of the health issues. These gaps becomes very overwhelming. So, how might we support non-native speaking women in navigating healthcare with confidence by making information guidance easier to access, even with the language and cultural barriers? Now, I'm gonna hand it over to Tian. She's gonna go over the user research part and share what we learned behind our concept.
Thank you. And to build a solid project and make sure our solution was grounded in real needs, we started with our preliminary research around our target users. We spoke directly with women from different culture and linguistic backgrounds. And what we heard was incredibly insightful. And I would say in many cases, it's even emotional. So we began by diving into the experience of women living abroad. We conducted a survey that received 243 responses with a 77% completion rate. And most of our participants, they were between 18 and 44 years old, living abroad in countries like the US, the UK, Sweden, Canada, and Japan, all within a region in 11 countries, including China, India, the Philippines, and France, etc. And what stood out was that only 17.5% of them regularly went for health checkups, and nearly 1/3 has never gone for a checkup in their current country of residence. Following our quantitative research, we also conducted a followed-up qualitative interviews to provide valuable context and nuance to the data collected in the initial survey. So this phase included in-depth interviews with a subset of participants to gain deeper insights into their personal experience, the emotional impact of these challenges, and their thoughts on potential solutions. So here you can see some challenges that mentioned during the interview. Some top challenges they reported were language barriers, lack of information about available services, and difficulty understanding the insurance system. And the participants constantly emphasized like how language barriers complicated their healthcare experiences. Many even felt anxious about communicating symptoms accurately and understanding medical advice. Another recurring issue we found was understanding the healthcare system itself. Well, our participants described feeling lost when trying to access specialist services or navigate insurance options. Some also mentioned to us that the cultural differences have emerged as a significant barrier because healthcare providers often lack understanding of their cultural context, making the interactions even more uncomfortable. So we noted that the combined effect of all of these challenges has left many our participants feeling anxious and discouraged. And the stress of preparing for the appointment itself and the fear of misunderstanding added to their reluctance to seek care. So during our interviews, participants shared the experience of feeling dismissed or overwhelmed. We remember one woman told us that I often Googled everything before my women's health visit because I don't know how to describe my symptoms in English. And sometimes I still don't understand what the doctor is asking about. And comments like this were not just one or two or three non-native speaking women. They are often bothered by those challenges throughout their journey navigating the healthcare system of a new country, both for themselves and for their families. And these deeply moving stories became the foundation of every design decision we made. While there are numerous apps and services aimed at supporting healthcare and wellness, few focus specifically on the unique challenges faced by immigrant women navigating healthcare systems abroad. Thus, we explore some of the main type of competitors and what we can learn from them. And with our target users in mind, we looked into translation services, general healthcare, community support, mental health platforms, and insurance tools. We studied apps like Google Translate and Medibabble, which offer basic translation but lack contextual accuracy and emotional nuance. For WebMD and ZocDoc, They provide general health information and appointment booking, yet they assume a level of system familiarity and language fluency that many immigrant women or non-native speaking women, they don't have. And community spaces like Facebook groups and house forum, they offer shared experiences, but they are unmoderated, inconsistent, and often difficult to navigate. We also see some mental health apps like Headspace and Talkspace, on the other hand. They offer helpful resources, but are rarely localized for cultural or linguistic diversity. And some insurance tools like Policy Genius and GoodRx, they provide information, but are very complex and lack clarity for non-native speakers. So from this research, we realized the real gap isn't just functional, it's emotional and cultural. Our users don't just need tools, they need understanding, reassurance, and connection. That's why we want to create We, a platform that brings together AI-powered language support, emotional companionship during medical visits, and simplified insurance guidance, and a trusted, safe community space. All designed with empathy, accessibility, and cultural sensitivity as its core. And as we shape the vision for We, ensuring the technical feasibility was also a key part of our research. We explored 5 main areas, as you can see here: the real-time AI support, user privacy, expert recruitment, insurance transparency, and safe health guidance. So first, real-time AI support. As we are stepping into a time that people seem to trust AI more than the authorities, well, unfortunately, I think I personally am that kind of person, especially when it comes to investment decisions and the stock market trend. I have to admit, well, so it's more important than ever to make sure our dear friend AI is trustworthy, right? So we evaluated current AI language models and found that multilingual healthcare adapted chatbots are now achievable using tools like the ChatGPT or Google's MacPom, which is a large language model developed by Google Research, is specifically fine-tuned for medical questions answering, which is perfect for our project, right? And it's built on Google's PaLM, which stands for the Pathways Language Model, and is designed to respond to health-related prompts with high accuracy, aiming to assist in medical domains. So these can deliver context-sensitive responses and handle translation for medical terms with increasing accuracy, making our vision for a conversational, real-time assistant technically possible. And beyond this chatbot, the AI chatbot, we ensured the rest of the system is both responsible and achievable. For user privacy, we designed We to avoid collecting sensitive medical data, because we know it's really important for basically everyone, right? And focused on the secure, ethical handling of user input. And all user data is, of course, encrypted with easy options to delete the history. And in terms of the experts and companion recruitment, we found it's feasible to build a network through partnerships with our local organizations and telehealth providers, which can following models similar to interpreter networks. And regarding the insurance transparency, many providers now has offer public documentations, so we can simplify and translate these into plain language, making the complex plans easier to compare and understand. We also thought about partnering with healthcare insurance companies to bring in their customer service team to answer questions and clarify the details. And finally, our health guidance. This is carefully positioned not to diagnose or judge, but to provide physical and emotional support to our users in understanding their process and preparing for care. So these ensures we can stay within the safe and ethical boundaries while still delivering the real value. And as all of these, our goal became very clear: empower non-native speaking immigrant women to navigate healthcare with confidence. I think we want to design a platform that feels like a trusted companion, one that reduces stress, builds understanding, and make the healthcare journey more manageable for women living in a new cultural and linguistic environment. We anchored the design around three principles: empathy, so every touch point feels emotionally supportive; clarity, so information is digestible and non-intimidating; and also guidance, so our users can always know what to expect and what to go next. So with that in mind, I know that's kind of like a lot of things. I'll now hand it over to Shijing, who will talk you through how these insights shaped our product, from brand values to feature design and the key UX decisions behind We.
Cool, thanks. Now it's time to take a closer look to brand and some of core features we design and how each other actually tie together back to user needs. It's a fun part. I'm very happy I'm taking it. Not like a research part. First of all, let's start with the quick notes of our branding. Since this is pretty much our very first impressions, we chose a deep purple as our main color because it represents empathy, strength, and confidence. To balance that, we are using bright pink as our secondary color. You will see later in our UI. It feels warm, soft, and approachable. Next, you can see here our logo. The symbol of We combines two linked hands and representing human connections with a heart hidden in the letter W, symbolize support, unity, and care. And our tagline, We by your side, really sums up what the product it is, right? So isn't just a medical tool, it's a companion. It's here to support you, guide you, and stand with you through a system that can feel really overwhelming, especially when you're in a new country and you don't speak a language very well. So the core of We is our built-in AI assistant, which powered many of our features, from booking companions to explain insurance or the medication infos. That actually it supports multiple language and communication styles by using healthcare trained language model, not just translating the words, but also understand users' real intent, even when they're emotional or unclear. I know using AI brings major benefits. It's super fast, it's scalable, and always available. But building trust is a big pain point, as always, right? So that's why we make it clear when users talk to AI. After chatting with a machine learning expert, our friend, we recognize that transparency is the key. So actually, in our early version, we named the chatbot Emily to make it feel more like a real person, to comfort the user. But we learned that it can be misleading. So we change it back to just We, try to be upfront and honest. We also make sure that the sensitive topics, links like insurance or medication informations are linked to verified sources. Our users can always see what the info comes from and click in to read more if they want to, just like a citation. Also, we are clear about the privacy. All users can delete their chat history anytime in the profile setting, as Tian just mentioned. Now, building on this AI assistant, let me walk you through two related core features. The first one, we all know that medical visits can be very scary, especially in a new country with a new language. And that's why we create in-person companion feature. With this service, users can book a trained companion to join them during the health check, during the wellness check. These companions can provide not only the language support, but also the emotional support, helping user better understand what happened and also feel more at ease throughout the visit. The process is super simple too. Users just need to ask our AI assistant to help, and it will guide them through choosing an in-network clinic to avoid like high cost, right? Also via available companions, make appointment, and setting up a quick call, quick chat beforehand if needed. Each companion is selected from their ability to communicate clearly with cultural sensitivity. So users don't just get help understanding the words, but feel truly seen and support in the moment of care. Another core feature is insurance navigation. Let's just be honest, reading insurance policy is overwhelming for anyone, but it's especially tough for those people who are new to the country. These documents are often dozens of pages long, filled with jargons, and it's incredibly difficult to find the parts actually matters, like coverage for women's health. With this feature, the AI assistant scan the policies, pull out the just relevant information. For example, preventive women care, and condense it into a short, clean summary. Instead of digging to a 30-page PDFs, the users can get exactly section like what they need, right? So, and since language can be a major barrier, users can also translate the summary into preferred language, like simplified Chinese, Spanish, or Korean, and other languages just with one click. They can also download it and save the files. For example, for me, both simplified Chinese version and English version, I need them both. I would just download them both and put them side by side for future references. Like based on that, our users would feel more confident and informed when they plan and making decisions about their care. The last feature I want to highlight is the community. We know how lonely it can feel to be in a new country, especially when it comes with women's health. That's why we want to build a safe space where users can ask questions, share their experiences, and find support from others who actually truly understand their situations. Unlike many other platforms, like now, like a lot of platforms like Instagram, TikTok, they focus on image and videos a lot. But we is designed to be text first. It's pretty old school, but we think when come with sensitive topics like pregnancy or health issues, a lot of people they don't feel comfortable posting photos. They just want to talk through their feelings and get honest feedback. Of course, if they want to share, fine, definitely if they want to, right? But it's never a requirement because this is a live user lead space. We know like not every post will be 100% accurate, and that's okay. That's why we call it community. To balance that, we've included a dedicated reading section. You can see it from the right side, with verified health articles right on the main page. These articles are written by experts, and we use a different layout and a clean verification marks so users are they can easily tell they're different from the regular post. Actually, our goals is to offer both a space for real conversation as a community and also the reliable information people can trust as our reading section. It's all about helping women feel safe, supported, and informed. Okay, we've been talking a lot, and that's it for our presentation. I will hand it over back to Joanna and start the Q&A session.
Thanks so much, Shuting and Tian. It was really interesting to hear more about we, and it's such a great concept, really powerful tools working in the background as well. So it's great to hear a bit more about that. As we know, it's a concept at this stage, and it was great to hear where it's at. So I was also wondering and very curious to hear, what do you see for the future? Where do you want to take we, and what's your vision there?
Yeah, I took over this part. I'm just gonna turn off my presentation mode and to start the real talking. So first of all, we've honored that we already being recognized by multiple international design awards. The jury actually appreciate the holistic approach and accessible and user-friendly design. But to us, the most meaningful feedback came from our users. Our tester told us this is exactly what I need when I'm moving aboard. And that validation actually means everything to us. Except that we also thought a little bit about our business model since we're not like business professional. But from a business perspective, we're using our freemium model. Basic access to AI tools and content communities is free with paid feature like in-person companions. We set it up like that way is because our model is actually trying to support both sides. We're not only helping those who need guidance, but also want to create income opportunity for those women who want to offer help. So, for example, those companions and verified contributors, uh, sorry, my cat.
Hello.
I was wondering what that was.
No,
Hello, Ollie.
talk to. But no, please. So let's continue. So our model, like we want to help both sides. So companions and validated contributors who provide us verified articles, healthcare informations, they can earn by sharing their expertise in flexible and meaningful ways, I would say. And looking forward, we don't see we just as a product, like we see it as a movement, a platform that can grow to support more women around the world. Our next step is actually very clear. We want a partnership with healthcare providers, NGOs, and local communities to bring we into real life. Actually, we are already talking with some nonprofit women health association. Hopefully, that can be another stuff we're gonna do in the next. And right now, like we are focusing on the immigrant women in the U.S., a group actually often underserved. But we see a clear paths to expand it globally, actually. We could help reshape the healthcare space from my point of view, setting a new standard for culturally sensitive and accessible support. So beyond that, this model could scale into other areas too, open up new business opportunities while staying focused on inclusion and impact.
Thanks. Yeah, so you're open for partnerships and you already have some things in the background there in the works, so that's great to hear. Yeah, as you mentioned there, it's at the moment it's kind of the US context. So thinking about the research, when you were showing us the quantitative survey, I think that you made, you were looking all over the world. So I was curious to hear a little bit more how you went from qualitative to quantitative, and then to limit your group to the US. And also I was curious to know if you did any testing yet with prototypes or mock-ups from WE.
Yeah, I can take this. So for the first part of your question, how did we go through like from the immigrant women around the world into the US, right? So it's actually as Shruti shared before, this experience, this project was inspired from our own experiences. As we come into the US, we found out that, oh, this problem, like we are suffering from this challenge. And from there, we are starting to talk to some other like immigrant women or non-native speaking women. And then we learned that, oh, it's not just us. So we want to like expand our target users to just immigrant women, because we know like they are, those are a group of people that are like basically unseen or unheard, and their experience hasn't like, well, especially when we're doing the marketing research, we figured like we noticed there were no like a platform or service really targeting specific to this kind of group. That's why we started to like really want to know more about their experiences and their challenges. But the reason why like finally we want to narrow down to the US is because we don't want to like, we want this to be a start point, because we do have our own experience in the US. So that is like, we're not professional, but we know some of like our own experience or challenges during this process navigating the healthcare systems. That's why we want to take a baby step first, and then probably we can talk with more professionals within this industry, within this field, and more people in like healthcare systems to gather help and to like build up our community first. I hope that answers your question.
Yeah, it does. It does.
Yeah. It's
Yeah.
kind of fun though. Like it's remind me some of my personal experience. Um, because we both, like Tian and I, like we both graduate from a really good school in New York, NYU, right? New York University. They actually provide, like now I know they actually provide the best healthcare insurance. I I didn't know that at that point because that was very expensive and I'm kind of afraid of really using it, or I don't know how to start. So at that point, at that moment, I'm like, I want to use it. I just don't know how to start. I don't want to talk to doctors. I don't, it's just so scary. Like all I did during, I think during the 2 years of studies, I went to like healthcare for like less than 3 times. But now I know, like, actually, we could use it and do a lot of things, especially for women, you know? Like, women, like, we do pap smears every year, for example, and we do blood work, we do ultrasound, to take care of our body. Like, we actually want to help those people who arrived the country at the very beginning and tell them how to use healthcare insurance. That's also a really big point.
Yeah.
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 I think this is a moment when we say, oh, I wish there was someone like teach
Yeah.
me how to do that. I wish there was someone just like walk me through the whole process and just sit there to give me more emotional support when I'm about to take my healthcare. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the personal connection to the topic makes perfect sense, and that it's really about empowering. That said, perhaps many would question. I'm sure you've gotten this question, and I will ask it anyway. If immigrant men don't have very similar challenges, or is it kind of the same there that you wanted to focus on a smaller group, or?
Well, that is a great
Oh, I
question.
think you have to come closer, Tian.
Oh, sorry.
There you go.
I think,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, cool. I think that is a very good question. And well, as a female, I have to say that when you were talking about empathy and sympathy, it's, I would admit that is there would be more difficulties for me to learn like the challenges immigrant man has been going through. But we want to start with the immigrant women first. And of course, I understand that there must be some challenges because all immigrant group is kind of like, oh, I'm landing in a new country and I know nothing about it. And even choosing the insurance systems, the choosing insurance option is kind of like a hazard. It's like tons of informations all on one page. And they are letting me to, oh, the only thing I know is, oh, it's different prices, right? So I think it's definitely valuable to look into the challenges that immigrant man is facing. But as for ourselves, like us, we will start with the immigrant women first. I don't know, like, because I I don't know if that answers the question, but I also I'm calling for people that to do more research and more I don't know, more projects targeting the immigrant group as a general. That's why we can hear the unheard people, like to hear about their experiences, to learn about their challenges, and to really feel what they can feel, right? Because it's really hard for people to navigate a system or I know to navigate the system that are not built with you in mind.
Yeah, and also from our research, actually that gives us a little bit inspiration, I would say. Often, like why we want to focus on a small group. Actually, it's a little bit like gender basis, right? Because we've heard from our interviewees, like, we don't like, yeah, one interviewees I remember, like she said, like, I don't want to share questions. I don't want to ask questions. to public because there are too many people. Like they don't know what I am being through. Like, they don't know my exact situations. And sometimes they just don't want to share the information to a board public, but they actually share the information, like share the problem, ask questions to their close friend, to their actually girl's friend. So because they feels more being heard and feel more honest being understood by those people have similar situation, especially for women health. Like we have different body and women health always think about more and women's um I couldn't say that, but I would say a big part of women they need more emotional support. And this is our field, and that's why we want to focus on this small group. We want to just provide women, immigrant women, a safe space to really ask questions, ask problems. Um, what I can think, this question actually inspired me a lot. So what I'm thinking is, what if we make we